Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Monday BJJ with me, Brian. So this episode's just kind of about typical jiu-jitsu class for somebody who's been in it for a little over a year as a white belt. This is our warm-up. I like it because we just get started moving in a way that's a little different, moving with your back to the floor. It's kind of a lot of what jiu-jitsu is about. Heck yeah. And so I just like to do that kind of stuff, and really gets you used to doing the jiu-jitsu thing. It's kind of like fighting with your back up against the wall. If your back's up against the floor, you can feel cornered or trapped, but really it's a lot of what jiu-jitsu is about, is using the floor. So not that I know much about what jiu-jitsu is about. I've only been doing it for a year. But we do some pretty hard exercises and some pretty easy exercises. Just a lot of different movements and things. So it's a lot of fun. And then we move into sort of the drilling. And we're working on some double under leg passes. And we start off with a pretty simple one. That involves breaking the opponent's grip on your back by changing the geometry of your leg by standing up with it. So, and we do a couple of reps on each side, maybe each person, and then you can see our instructor walking around there in the background, and he's a friend of mine. I work with him, and he likes to do things that I really like to do too, where like once you get the move down and we've drilled it a few times, we'll go into sort of a more like resistive training where you attempt to resist the other person, but maybe not fully. You're still kind of giving them some feedback on stuff, and they're learning a little bit about it, and you'll see that here in a second, I think. But this is kind of an interesting training matchup. Getting matched up with this girl. She's doesn't weigh as much as I do, unfortunately. So she was probably getting the worst end of things, definitely. But she's getting a lot better every day. So it was a lot of fun. You can see we're doing a little bit of the live resistive stuff here. So even though my technique's not great, I'm being pretty successful against a smaller opponent. So not learning too much, but she's a good partner. And here was some more reps of that same type of thing. Really working on trying to add pressure to the pass and to make it so that the opponent really has to kind of fight you a little bit more. It's almost more like a live roll instead of just straight up static practice, practicing a position or whatever. And you can see here I definitely had a lot more trouble. She was really holding on to my lapel, and I think she almost choked me there. So she had some really good technique. And I think we switched top and bottom maybe every time, or maybe it was every 3 minutes or something. I don't really remember. But yeah, and that was kind of an unfortunate thing where I was able to just grab her leg and flip her over. But again, I don't know that worked. I tried that against some other heavier people, and I don't think it worked nearly as well because she's just, quite a bit lighter than I was. See, I tried it again here, but she was able to base out, and I couldn't really turn her over, and then she was able to turn the corner. So, and I think she finished me with a choke too, so. The first time I went to jiu-jitsu, I rolled against a girl that was smaller than her, and she choked me about 3 times in like 4 or 5 minutes. So yeah, there I was able to roll her again. But yeah, so jiu-jitsu is really effective for a smaller person against a bigger person who doesn't know quite as much. Against a person who knows some stuff, it doesn't make quite as much a difference, but it's definitely still can. So here she's just getting some more coaching on really how to apply that pressure in, even being a smaller person, and finishing the choke and everything. So yeah, you can see me tap there. It was really tight. And we go into the live rolls. And this is one of my friends that he started a little bit after I did, and he had some judo background. I have a little bit of wrestling background. But I tried a terrible guard pull on him. And he's a little bit heavier than me, so he's been losing a lot of weight and getting really strong. So I was just doing my best once I got down and in a bad position to just keep playing defense and just trying to stall a lot. I really went for I tried to go for a lot of sweeps, but I couldn't get my feet in the right position. This is something I'm still having a lot of trouble with, is knowing how to maneuver my feet real well. I don't use my feet in the game quite as much as I should. And then like right there, he put an arm in pretty deep, and I started trying to go for a triangle, and then I almost got an arm bar right here, but I couldn't get my other leg. You can see it's under his arm on the far side of his body, and I couldn't get it across his face. You'll see right there, he's pushing it out of the way, and so I couldn't stop him from rolling over. You see, I should have put that leg in front of his face, and so he's able to roll up on me instead of me finishing the arm bar. And so now he's working his arms across my throat, and I've got a half guard on him, and I'm just trying to peel him off of me in some way. And then here he gets his arm around, he's trying to get his other arm around behind my head to increase the tightness of the choke and really finish me. But I know that if I can roll him, because his arm's behind my head, if I roll him, he can't stop me from rolling him that direction. Which is something I do a lot. So there the arm pops out because he's got a base, and that allows me to then turn back into him a little bit more and get my legs in between us. But I try that against the next guy, and it doesn't work nearly as well. Oh, and then there, yeah, that's where I really almost get the triangle on him. But you can see I've got my leg that's coming up over his shoulder is not chopping down enough, and it's not controlling his posture. So I always get my feet mixed up on which one. Yeah, so he's able to slip his head out and then just kind of crush me down again. And I spent a lot of time turtling up against him. And then here I tried to sit out, and I missed this sit out. And my wrestling background doesn't have, like, I don't always do quite the right technique that works in jiu-jitsu. So, but I do here, I kind of am able to grab a leg and his hips, and I drive up, and he tries to throw a leg over, but I get to pull it down and drive his hips down, and I basically get on top of him right at the end of the round. So kind of just slowly working my way up, trying to make sure I maintain control of him and don't let him turn back into me. We both went really hard this round. I think it was like a 5-minute round. I sped up a lot of the footage, but we were both really tired by the end of this. So when we were finished, we were both pretty happy with our performance, but also very exhausted. And then this guy was getting ready to compete this weekend, and he, you could see I was in my wrestling stance, and then finally I decided, hey, I should stand up a little more. But even then, I start immediately defaulting into bending more, just bending over so much. But yeah, this guy was getting ready to compete, and so he was real fired up and ready to crush me, and I tried some sort of stupid throw there that didn't work and just gave him my back. And so he willingly takes it and starts laying on a real good choke, and I tap out. And so we reset from the ground, and I, for some reason, double handshake him, and then he pulls me into guard and starts choking me again from the guard. And man, I have a bad habit of like trying to pressure people a whole lot from the top, and not in good ways either. So I'm diving down on him and getting too close to getting choked, and then I try to do a flip to relieve the pressure, and he just sticks me and is able to take mount. And so he's still choking me, so I try to roll him over, but he's still doing a good enough job of holding on to stuff that he's able to also roll me over and just keep tightening the pull around my neck. And then here you can see this great bow and arrow he does on me. And yeah, it was good stuff. So we go again, and he gets this real good hook behind my knee and then just shoves me over, and I fall over like a small child. And so Now he's putting a lot of pressure into me, and I'm trying to move somewhere, but I'm trying to move into him instead of maybe do something better. And you can see he's just in control this whole time. He's just been real fired up lately, and he's crushing it, and I'm not doing much of anything. I try to maybe do the hot pants here and just like straighten my legs out, but nothing much is happening. I'm still able to roll him over, and he's still able to finish the choke. So he's really feeling it. I'm trying to straighten out my gi, but it's impossible. So I just kind of give up, and he pulls guard onto me, and he's got a really deep lapel grip, and finally kind of maybe break that one, I think. But he's still just fighting me, and I'm trying to maybe just push my way through his guard, but then he does something here, like I think he just overhooks my arm, but when he pulled me forward, I just freaked out a little bit and went ahead and tapped. I have terrible shoulders, and I just don't want to take too many chances with them. They just dislocate kind of randomly. So here I basically do what I tried to do the other time and just jump straight over his guard. He's still able to get me in a half guard, but I'm at least trying to fight it off. He starts doing some crazy lapel choke on me, and it's not looking good for me, but fortunately the round is just about over, and so almost about the time he's ready to finish me, I think the bell goes off, and literally am saved by the bell. So he just is working me over, and we call it a day. And then here I'm rolling against the instructor, and like I said, wrestling background, so here I shoot this double leg. Normally he would just straight up choke me out here, but I think he knew I was filming, and he wanted to let me get a good takedown in, so he lets me do this wrestling takedown, super goofy double leg where I leave my head outside. Should have put it more in the middle, at least that's what everybody tells me. So I take him down, but he just, he's kind of working me over, making sure I'm doing the right things, or at least trying to do the right things. And so he's working me in guard, and I'm trying to work out of it. I try to step out, and he's looking to get the spider guard, but I'm kind of working his arms in. I do get to pass the guard there, but I think I passed the guard, yeah. And then he kind of sits still, so I know that I can circle around, get side control from the other side, and I'm trying to peel his arm out, but he's not really he's not letting me get it, really. He's trying to make me work for it. I think maybe I try to set up a choke, and he's able to pull his shoulder to the mat and just kind of turn things around on me. I think I even say something like, "Are you kidding me?" in this thing, and then he rolls over and kind of relaxes and settles into this position, and I'm trying to figure out if I should roll to my stomach or my back, because I don't know if I can even fight him. And he starts putting on this weird choke, and I'm dying a little bit on the inside. I wound up tapping, and he asked me, was I even choking you? And I said no, it was just so much pressure. I tend to tap a little too early to pressure sometimes. I'm not real into it. So here I'm trying to remember a pass that we tried recently, and I should have gone around to my right, but instead I try to go straight across with like a knee slice thing, and then we sort of practice the paper cutter choke, and I'm trying to do it, but I don't remember exactly where I need to be taking my body and my arms, and so I'm kind of just choking him for a little bit, but not enough, and he's able to get that shoulder down again and rotate around on me and take my back again. So, and then he starts working kind of a bow and arrow thing, and I'm not super happy about it, obviously, but he gets the tap, and we start going again. This is at the end of like an hour and a half long class, so everybody's really gassed out. But yeah, hope you liked the video. Please subscribe. I'll see you again probably next Monday. Bye.